Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I don't know how many of you are with me, because Facebook. This is, I don't actually know if we are streaming to Facebook right now. Well, it looks like Julia is commenting on Facebook, so it looks like it is, in theory, live on Facebook. Even though it tells me that it's not. The little thing that pops up tells me that we are streaming to everything except Facebook. It says that the Facebook APIs are still down. So I don't know. Maybe Julia has some kind of in with Zuckerberg. Are you friends with old Mark? How you guys doing? Give me just a second. I'm all out of sorts now after trying to get all this figured out. Why is it that no matter how many episodes of the show that is not a show I do, or how many podcasts I do, it seems like I'm always just trying to figure how to make it all work. So, if you're new, if you're stumbling upon this, either live or on YouTube or Facebook afterwards, this is it's not a show. It's a happy hour that we do live every single Monday night. We get together, we have a beer or two, and we talk about what's going on in life, in local drinking culture, in beer, in the industry, and whatever comes up. We talk. It started during the pandemic when we were all quarantined, and I needed a way to sit around and talk to people. So, and then it still goes on because it's fun and I enjoy it. But a huge part of what this show is about talking to each other, hanging out, and taking part in the social happy hour type thing. So you got to tell me what you're drinking because we're all drinking together. I will get to what I'm drinking in just a moment. Hello, Marco. So if you want to take part in the conversation, wherever you happen to be watching, if it's Facebook, if your Facebook is working, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, you take part in the chat, and it'll pop up here on the screen in just a minute for everybody. Marco is getting it to go in truth. However, if you want to get really crazy, you can call into the show also. That is an option. You can call the number that's right there on your screen, right there, 567-70-DRINK. That's 567-703-7465, and it'll dial you right in here to the studio, and we can talk that way. But like I said, the chat is an option. Wherever you are watching, just start typing, and it'll appear right there on the screen for everybody. So, nope, Marco, I'm fine. It was just a cough. Julia says, I see no Marco. Is he on one of those other platforms? He is. He is on YouTube. I encourage everyone to follow on YouTube. We are, as I've said frequently, we're pushing really hard on trying to keep building the YouTube channel so that I can keep creating some fun content. We'll get into all that. I've got lots to say about where I'm at with all of those things right now. But I need a beer, and I do not have one in front of me right now. I have several options in the fridge, though, and I want you guys to tell me what you want me to drink. We can go the simple route, and I can crack open a can of Urban Artifacts new Goza, the Bushel. It's an spiced apple Goza. I had one with dinner, and it was freaking fantastic. It's absolutely delicious. Julia says she follows on YouTube, just finds it easier to chat on the lives via Facebook. There's more emojis. I respect that. That's okay. I don't mind where you guys watch the live stream, as long as everybody follows everywhere, because it's very important. Option 2, if we decide not to crack open the Urban Artifact right now, though it is really good, whichever choice we don't choose right now to drink on the weekly pint, I will do for this week's Prost. So we could do that. And Prost is a live kind of tasting show that I do. Not really beer reviews, not beer ratings or anything like that, but we just kind of drink a beer together here in the basement. more out there by the bar. Anyways, we can do the Urban Artifact Bushel, or we can crack into Oktoberfests, because I finally got another one to almost wrap up round one. I am still one short. Bierkus has got to get that Oktoberfest out, because I'm about to make a rule that if it's not out by a certain day, it just gets bumped out of the competition, because we have got to get through round one so that we can get through the rest of this. Bierkus is 100% holding it up now at this point. So we can do Oktoberfest Quest Showdown, Listerman versus Big Ash, or we can do Urban Artifact Bushel. You guys tell me what you want me to drink, but hurry, because I want to dive into something. I am thirsty. And then I have a bunch of label approvals, some fun stuff, some good stuff that definitely deserves some conversation. Julia says Oktoberfest. She wants a longer video on Bushel. If I get one more person that agrees with her, I'll just go ahead and crack them open. Marco says Oktoberfest. All right. Yeah, give me just a second. They're right there in the fridge. I'll keep talking. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear me, though. Here, we'll turn the mic just like that. I guess I should set up a separate microphone over here by the fridge, so that even when I'm getting beers out of the fridge, you can hear me. Would that be overkill to mic up different parts of my basement, so while we're doing live streams I can just wander around and still talk to you guys? That might be a little bit much. All right, like I said, we've got Listerman's Fest beer, or as the style that the title it's called Fest beer is the name of the beer. Their style that they put on the can is German style party lager, which I always appreciate. 5.4%, 1 pint. This, if you guys don't remember, was last year's winner of the Oktoberfest Quest. And then new in cans this year is Big Ash, their Oktoberfest. Still have not dialed in my beer light, have I? See if we can dial this in live while we're talking. Why not? Oh, that's as low as it goes. So this is, like I said, new in packaging this year. Yeah, that's terrible. I gotta fix that, guys. I'm sorry. If I hold it there for a minute, the light adjusts a little bit better. It's a Märzen beer. There's all kinds of stuff written on this thing. Brewed with care in Cincinnati. It's quality beer. Rich and malty. Reddish copper. Nachhaus Ginvier nicht. I don't know what that means. I'm still very basic in my German speaking and reading. It's 6% ABV and 20 IBUs. Hints of caramel. Slight nuttiness. It also says it's brewed for good instead of bad, like other places. That's good to know. German Märzen beer. It says Prost. It's got all kinds of fun little pretzels and all kinds of fun stuff on the art. I don't know if you can see any of that on the artwork there. More brewed for good, just so you don't forget that this is not brewed for bad. Here's a good little description. All right, it says, our Oktoberfest lager is rich and malty, reddish copper-colored German Märzen beer. It is full-bodied with notes of biscuit, toast, and bread. A slight nuttiness and hints of caramel round out the malt profile to make this beer balanced and delicious. I'm ready for this. All right. I have, full disclosure, had both of these already this year. I've drank them both on tap in their respective tap rooms, but this is the first time I've cracked into them into cans. They should taste the same in cans as they do in the tap room. However, as we have learned this year, that is not always the case. Let's see. Matt wants to know, is that good? I'm guessing the Bushel. Spoiler alert, yeah, it's good. Here we go. Julia says, very not super spicy, even though it has a lot of sweet flavors in it. Mango and marshmallow still tastes very much like a Berliner. Nope, that is a whole different beer. I must have missed what Julia is drinking. Oh, there. Well, no. I missed what you're drinking, Julia. Tell me. All right. So I will try to. You guys can't see where anything is. As much as I love my little podcast setup here, it doesn't work out. The 18th Street Crushed Marshmallow Imperial Berliner, Berliner with mango and habanero. Or Hananero. I'm just giving you crap. All right, so we have Listermann on my left, your right here, and then this is the Big Ash. I don't know how well those show up. Here, we'll seal our little beer light here. See if we can show you guys some color. I'll figure this out one of these days, a way to get all this. All right, this is our Big Ash. Okay. And then Listermann. So Listermann's definitely a little bit lighter. Not a crazy amount, though. That's proper pronunciation of habanero, by the way. This is not a descriptor that I've used yet in this year's Oktoberfest Quest, but the Listermann has like a creamier looking head, so smaller bubbles, tighter kind of bubbles, whereas the Big Ash has more foamy kind of look to it. Take that for whatever it means. Like I said, Big Ash is a little bit darker. They are both pretty clear and pretty brilliant, though. Let's sniff them. The good old sniff. There is definitely a little more caramel, almost more of a bready aroma to the Big Ash, versus the almost slightly sweet bread of the Listermann. If this was a normal, properly done bracket, the Listermann would be a number 1 seed this year because it won last year. However, I always do a very, very modified bracket system. There is a very complicated system that I put together to try to make it as fair as possible for these beers coming into it. I try to make sure we don't have a lot of very different beers in the first round up against each other. That may shift as obviously the bracket goes on, but the first round I try to keep Märtzens with Märtzens, Fest beers with Fest beers, those weird middle of the not they're weird, they're not good. Those kind of hybrid styles with those kind of hybrid styles. That's hard to do, especially on some of the ones that I haven't had before. But that's what I try to do. And then I try to also put them, if there's one that won last year, it's going to go against one that maybe wasn't in the competition that year. Also, if there's one that I know that I typically love, I will put it against one that maybe didn't rank as high the year before. Maybe it was eliminated fast in the first round. Second round, all bets are off. It gets mixed up a whole lot more then, and you get some really tough matchups. But not that these aren't tough matchups. But let's taste. Have you guys had either one of these this year? I'm curious to hear everybody's thoughts. Man, yeah, that Listermann is good. Marco jumped over to Facebook. They're both good. The Big Ash definitely has a more bitter kind of note to it. This is the Listermann. I don't know if you guys can tell which is which here. The Listermann here definitely has more of a sweet caramely bread. Julia says she's had the Listermann, super good. Whereas the Big Ash is definitely a maybe a little bit drier, which I typically like more. And then a little bit more roast, which I think is what the bitterness that I'm getting could be the roast, or it could be kind of a hoppiness. Normally, you don't get a lot of bitter from German, traditional German styles. They're both good. Give me a second, guys. This is tough. Yeah, I'm going to give it to the Listermann. And that's very difficult to determine for me, because I do like the dryness a lot of the Big Ash. But it's just that little bit of a bitter kind of snap that it's got, I don't think is what I want out of the style. Not a bad beer. I keep saying that with every single one that gets eliminated. Just because it's eliminated right now does not make it bad. It just makes it not exactly what I want to drink. And even then, not what I want to drink right now. There is a chance that as the bracket goes, as seasonally things change, maybe you get a cold day and I'm drinking one, maybe this would shift a little bit. I don't know how any of this works. I just choose the one that I think is better. And right now, I think that the Listermann just nudges it out just a little bit. I have spoken. So Listermann moves on to round 2. I'm going to figure out some kind of arbitrary rule this week, if I don't hear back from Bierkus to give me some idea of when we're going to see when we're going to see the Oktoberfest. Maybe we should tag them here on the Facebook stream and see if we can get Paul to jump on and tell us what the hell is happening with Oktoberfest, because I need to drink it. All right, I will keep drinking these throughout the show, and I'll drink them both because they're both pretty tasty. We are going to, as soon as we know what is happening with round 1, I will know what that means for the voting for the non-winner to get voted back into the competition. If our last matchup, which is going to be Bierkus versus an import, if that doesn't happen, obviously the import just doesn't get to be in the competition. Sorry, Germany. And although what I really wanted to do was throw another Ohio brewery in there and throw like Wolf's Ridge or something like that, because I've heard such good things about it. But my fear is that then it might win. I don't want Wolf's Ridge to beat out all of our local breweries. Not that it's definitely better. I have not had it, so I don't know. But I've heard such good things about it. But if that last matchup in round 1 does not happen, then I carried the bracket into the other room just earlier today, so I can't look at it. I think the way it works then is somebody gets voted back in and gets into round 2, whereas if it does happen, then they bump into round 3, I believe. I don't know. But we still have definitely round 2, definitely round 3 before we get to the final. So we have so many more matchups to do before we can get to the end of this. I don't want it to go to November. I just want that to be known. I really had no idea it was going to go this late this year. You guys don't really care, do you? Nobody cares. I should, if I had been smart, instead of doing matchups like this on the Weekly Pint, this should have been a whole separate series that went out to either probably YouTube or Instagram or something like that as a video series. the video of Sam Adams versus Braxton is done pretty good on YouTube, and I think that's because Sam Adams was in it, so you get a lot of that YouTube search. People are searching for Sam Adams Oktoberfest this time of year. So I need to be smarter about stuff like that. That's the moral of the story here. If you guys want kind of behind the scenes of how all of this works, I need to I need to focus more on cranking out YouTube stuff. There's a lot of things that I'm working on. I've talked to some of you guys about this kind of behind the scenes. There's a lot of things that I'm working on for the beginning of next year that I'll be able to talk about in a few months ish, but I can't really talk about on the live stream or any kind of anything right now except face to face with people. But there's big things that I'm working on, and all of this plays a huge part in all of that. Be it a YouTube channel or traffic to Instagram, people supporting Patreon helps a lot. Things like that will become bigger pieces in the coming year or so. Now I'm confused. We have Julia and Marco and Truth, Beer, and Consequences all on the live stream, and I don't understand what that means. I like it, though. Truth, Beer, and Consequences love Sam Adams. If Sam Adams didn't know that, Sam Adams isn't on the chat. Should we grab some Utopias and drink it on the air? I promise if I get a bottle of Utopias this year, I'm sharing it on Truth, Beer, and Consequences. I promise that. Let's do some labels. Then we'll talk beer festivals, and maybe we'll dive more into kind of what's going on behind the scenes of all of the stuff that makes this machine that is the Gnarly Gnome tick. There are some good labels here, you guys. There's some fun stuff. All my stuff is in my way here. I need a bigger desk. So before we do the labels, I do want to talk about some stuff that I've been playing around with in my head. Well, that construction of the studio is never done, and there are some things that I've had in planning that are starting to shift kind of the way this whole setup is or will be. So what you can't see over here, in the corner over here is the beer fridge, the studio beer fridge. One of 4 dedicated beer fridges that we've got running right now. That's over here, and it's going to turn into a little tiny corner bar here. So I have a big bar out in the main part of the basement. Over here will be like a studio bar, mostly for show, but to keep beer that I need to drink on the show or need to drink for work purposes. And then also some bottles of booze and stuff that look cool on a shelf for a camera angle. That's not really that important. It's a little bit important. It's part of the whole thing. That whole wall then is going to get finished finally. The sticker wall looks great, but that continues into the beer cellar, which is around that corner. But on that wall, I've been thinking about doing some kind of a table over there with a couple comfy chairs and maybe a more comfy kind of setup to relax a little bit, to just a more comfortable place to sit and either podcast or live stream. For 2-person setups there. So if I have somebody over that wants to be on the show or wants to be on a live stream or something, we have a setup right there to have people on the show. So that's something I've been trying to plan in my head and figure out. Not really important to anything, but I figure since you guys are on here, maybe you care a little bit. I don't know. Labels. There's like I said, there's some fun stuff. All right. Up first, we've got, let me pull your chat off the screen. Don't let me forget to put it back up for you guys when we get done with the the labels because it helps you guys talk to each other. So this first one is from a place that is called Brain Brew. This is a distillery over in kind of the Marymount area, and they do this kind of, it's a rapid aging process, but they use actual wood in that process that they do also, and they do some really crazy woods. So it's a bourbon, quick aged, and then finished with, they say 200-year-old oak, European oak, cherry, and maple. It's 100 proof, big giant whiskey, and it is branded with the Cincinnati Zoo, 1875 Founder Circle. I don't know anything about this whiskey, but it sounds pretty kind of sort of tasty to me, and I really am curious about it. I have never sat down and talked to these guys about what they're doing with this whole process. I've talked to some people that have done business with them or have talked to them kind of about the process, but I've never actually dove into it. But I'm really kind of, this definitely makes me curious to get out there and try some of it. So maybe you'll see some YouTube content in the near future about it. So that's the first one, some whiskey. I know those aren't as fun as beers for you guys. You guys are definitely the beer crowd, but I like a little bit of everything. So we got some Fig Leaf coming through, the Raspberry Rosé Breeze. We've already seen this released, so it's not that exciting, but labels, when they come through, just mean that they are pushing harder to get their beer to cross state lines, or their breezes to cross state lines in this case, trying to keep growing, even though they are definitely pinched right now as far as production goes. Hopefully we'll have some fixes for that in the near future. They're working hard. If you haven't had this, it's actually really good. I'm not like a fizzy, whiny kind of drinker, but this stuff goes down so freaking good. The Blackberry Breeze specifically is pretty freaking fantastic. So there's that. This is a keg collar. I don't do a ton of keg collars. This one I did pull just because you actually can't read any of the stuff on there specifically. But this is a place called Grand River Brewery. This is not a local brewery, so don't get too excited. However, this came through as a Taft's label, so this is a contract beer. I will say, I guess I'll start doing that. If something comes through the TTB as a contract, I will let you know the brewery that applied for the TTB approval. So this one is Taft's, and there are more coming too. So hang in there. Astra. We did talk about Astra a couple weeks ago, I believe. Let me see if I can remember which one. I don't want to say one of the ones that I may or may not know is coming if that's not the one that was approved. I feel like it was the Mountain Dew one. Sorry, the Baja Blast Off. Not Mountain Dew, not related to Mountain Dew in any way, shape, or form. No, it was Pink Lemonade was the last one we saw. Hang on, we'll just go and pull that one up really quick. It'll just take me a second here, guys. We want. There are so many labels in my system now. I used to have this really perfect system for pictures. It was really organized because there weren't that many to worry about. Okay. So this is the Pink Lemonade was the last Astra that we saw come through. The interesting thing, which I did not point out before, is in this description over here, this Lemonade Stand series, Pink Lemonade. a flavor forward hard seltzer, yada, yada, yada. But this lemonade stand series, okay, so pay attention to that. And then, in addition to that, with this week's approval coming through of Red Cream, we've seen Red Cream. It's not that exciting, right? Except it's part of a soda fountain series. So, I'm not saying I know anything is coming, but we have now seen Astra Red Cream Soda, and we have now seen Baja Blast Off soda-themed seltzer. There is definitely some kind of series happening here, if I can say that. If anybody is on from March 1st, feel free to yell at me and tell me to shut up. But clearly there is some kind of series happening here. We have not yet seen a variety pack from March 1st from Astra. Maybe we're starting to see the groundwork being laid out for some of that variety to come about. Maybe a soda fountain series, maybe a lemonade series, maybe something else. I don't know, but that's what I find interesting. Chris says the soda fountain series, it's in the can. Marco says, what if you put them in freezer cubes and froze them? At 5%, you could freeze Astra, but you would have to have some a cold freezer to freeze it. It would just kind of get a little slushy. Like it's tough to freeze alcohol, guys. You got to have some really cold air to get alcohol to freeze. More likely, what would happen was all the other stuff that's in it would freeze and leave the alcohol left behind, and then you would just have ice cubes of all the other stuff without the alcohol. And where's the fun in that? Although then you could just take that off and then just drink the alcohol. But if you're going to do that, just get a bottle of vodka. It's easier. Julia says liquid nitrogen, problem solved. Will liquid nitrogen freeze alcohol? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Maybe we should do a science experiment. So, yes, the soda fountain series, you guys should keep an eye on that. The rumor is there's some fun stuff coming along those lines. We have a Rheingeist one. So these beers have been released before, but this is the latest version of it. This is a collaboration they do with Skeleton Root, which is a winery in OTR. I don't know what extent that winery is doing as far as production goes of the wine. If they're clearly not growing grapes. But they're a winery in OTR. This is the Brut Red, and then they also have the Brut White, two different beers, different grapes. Yeah, I mean, we like Rheingeist, right? We know that they can do some cool stuff, and a 9% wine forward beer. Sign me up. Oh, here's another brewery that we don't know, guys. You know what that means, especially when you read into this and you see that this is brewed and canned by Rockford Brewing Company, Rockford, Michigan, under special agreement, Rockford Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. This is a contract beer. Taffs. More Taffs coming through. This is called Hop Lust. I don't know if you would be able to buy this locally or if it all goes back to Michigan to be sold there. I'd be curious to try it and see what some of the other stuff that is coming out of Taft's tastes like. Another one, look at that, more Rockford. This is an interesting one because it's a medal winner, bronze medal 2015 and 2017 at GABF for English style brown ale, called Rogue River Brown Ale. I don't know how I feel about the artwork on this. I'd like to see it on a can before I make judgment, but it's a little crazy. I don't know about the leopard print. I don't know what the story is here, but I don't know. Curious to try it again. I do want to talk about this one. This is Sam Adams. Bevy is one of their other lines of drinking liquids. One of their other liquid lines. Go ahead and judge. It's just us. It's just us and the world. If you guys don't know about long drink, go and listen to Shift Beers. They talk about long drink a lot. Long drink in itself is not a brand. There is a Finnish long drink is the name of a brand of long drink. All long drink is, well, let's do a little history. I need a soundbite for history lesson. Long drink is a tall alcoholic beverage. So a cocktail that is like 12 ounces ish, something that you can just drink for a while. It's a big kind of just drinker. You can make it with anything and something fizzy, or I guess it doesn't have to be fizzy. It's just a drink you drink for a while. Long drink as an actual cocktail, we'll call it. It's not really a cocktail because it's only a couple ingredients, but as a cocktail, it started in the 50s. There was a in Finland, I'm going to get my dates all mixed up here. The Olympics was coming through. It was like it had to be like early 50s, maybe mid 50s, and then Finland was just getting out of a prohibition from the 30s. So there was all these laws that had to change to even allow alcohol to be sold in the volume that they needed it to be sold for. I like the name too. For all these tourists coming in, they created this company, which I can't think of the name of it. Something alcohol something, that is this state-run company that just makes all the booze, and they created this pre-packaged, bottled cocktail to be sold. It was gin and grapefruit soda, and they called it long drink. It was a big, kind of thing, and you just drank a lot of it. After the Olympics, the popularity kept up, and this company just kept producing it until the 90s, when Finland joined the European Union and was able to let other companies make this prepackaged thing. And so a lot of other companies started popping up, making it. Just kept gaining popularity. Sam Adams is jumping on the trend because it is super trendy right now. Now that Finnish Long Drink, the company, is cranking it out a whole bunch here in the United States. And Bevy has their own long drink. It is a sparkling lemon lime refresher. That is not the traditional flavor. It should be gin and grapefruit. Now, at the same time, they did a brandy version too, but that never kind of caught on the same way that the gin one did. This is also a malt beverage with natural flavors and juniper berries. So it's fake. It's not that this probably isn't delicious, but to create a long drink, you need gin and you need grapefruit. You cannot create a seltzer or some kind of beer-ish beverage that is then watered down and flavored with things that remind you of gin and grapefruit. That does not make a long drink. This is an abomination, but it's probably delicious. So I'm gonna try it as soon as I can get my hands on it. It says, Bevy Long Drink is our tribute to Finland's national cocktail. Did you know Finland is the happiest country in the world? Yeah, you guys can read all that in your spare time. And then there is that little gnome down here in the bottom. I don't know if he is a mascot of Bevy, but I like him. He's a good little dude. Got a drink in each hand, fizzy drinks. I do like the artwork on this with the Aurora Borealis, I guess, inspired stuff going on there. Like I said, I'll try it as soon as I get my hands on it, and I will definitely talk about it. I'll try this or Finnish long drink as soon as I get my hands on it, and maybe we'll compare it to an actual long drink, and I will make my decision of if they are actually abominations. I'm pretty sure I've got my mind made up. Urban Artifact, we see these Midwest fruit tart variants every month or so. They had some trouble when it was really hot outside producing them to the volume that they needed to. Hopefully, now with the fall coming in, we'll be able to see more of them. My shipment that I got today did not have any variants with it. It was the cherry, what is that called? Somebody help me out here. They're cherry Midwest fruit tart. I keep wanting to say polygraph, but is that it? Polygraph? Hang on, I'm trying to look while I'm talking. This is why I need a producer. Yeah, polygraph. It's the cherry Midwest fruit tart, which I freaking love. I've got this. I used to hate cherries in beer, and in the last few years, I've really started to appreciate it a lot more, probably because people are using actual cherries instead of cherry flavoring, and it just tastes better, and it doesn't taste like medicine anymore. So I'm excited to dig into some of that. I do have some of the regular and the double to go along with my bushel. My bushel of beer. This one is Misrule. It is a chocolate cranberry goza. If you remember, they had Slide Rule, which was their chocolate goza, and then they also had the cranberry. I'm gonna look again, guys, because my memory is terrible. What was the cranberry? Somebody feel free to chime in here while I'm looking if you can remember it off the top of your head. Trivet was the cranberry lemon goza. So this is a little bit of a mishmash, I guess. I wouldn't be surprised if Trivet comes back, maybe. Although last year it came out right about now. We have Bushels. Maybe Bushel is replacing it. This may be some kind of this may be the new winter kind of seasonal from them. Marco says I was going to say that. So Misrule is kind of chocolate cranberry. You guys get that. It is definitely chocolate. Goza is a little bit strange to a lot of people, but it's freaking delicious. I love Slide Rule, and so I'm definitely excited to see what this one is all about. We got Westside, the Red Rye IPA. I don't actually know if I have ever tried this one. I feel like they released it last year, and I feel like I missed it for some reason. I could be wrong. Oh, sorry, guys. More yawns. I'm sorry. Kids, I blame them for everything. Obviously, this will be in cans, I imagine pretty soon, if we're seeing the label for it. So that's it. That is all of our labels today. Some good ones in there, right? That Misrule, I think, is... So that label came through on the 1st, which was, what, Saturday? Is that right? Friday. That label came through on Friday. I expect, and I could be wrong, but I expect we'll see an actual can label come through early this week. So you'll see that probably next week on this show that is not a show. It's possible that it won't. It's possible that it'll just be draft only, but excuse me. I assume with a seasonal goza, we'll see packaging. Julia says, I believe Red Rye IPA is on draft now, so yeah, I can soon. Usually with some places, I can get a good sense of timing of when it's going to hit cans based on when the labels come through. And Westside, it's like it's instant almost. Once that label comes through, it's already ready to go with most stuff. So I don't know if you guys can hear my kid screaming upstairs, but she sounds like she's pissed off about something. She's stomping around. Let's talk about Beer Festival, if you guys aren't sick of hearing about it already. Julia says, If you see any labels that might be for the higher gravity beer vent box, don't share and spoil them, please. Lol. I won't. You're probably safe. So the way label approvals work is they only get approval if they only have to get approval if it's something that's crossing state lines. I don't know what the list of breweries that were going to be working with higher gravity, but I don't think any of them were Kentucky breweries. So it should be all Ohio breweries, and if they are exclusive to the higher gravity box, they don't need label approval through the federal TTB. So I shouldn't see them. So they should all be a surprise to all of us, in theory. I got to figure out something fun to do with the beer vent calendar this year. I don't know if I'll just do something every day and then put it together at the end of the season as one long video, kind of breaking down. That might be fun. I might do it that way because then it doesn't spoil anything, but then does kind of share the fun of the beer vent calendar for next year. But then that also is making it so that I have to make a video, at least even a little video, every single day, which some days is very, very difficult. I'll figure something out. We'll do something fun. Let's talk about Beer, Booze, and Bonks. I hope you guys listened to this week's Brewcast. We talked pretty. I think we covered everything that is set in stone right now. That's what I was talking about last week. It's a beer festival. You can go to thegnarlygnome.com/tickets and get your tickets. I encourage everybody to do that. My recommendation would be to do the second session, because you could do early admission and the Kick the Keg after party, which is a long chunk of drinking, but that would give you the 4 hours of the festival plus, I don't know, did we say half an hour or did we say an hour of early? It might have been half an hour early to kind of get to the things that you definitely have to try, and then you can kind of take your time for the rest of the festival. And then afterwards, you can help kick the kegs. We haven't talked about this. We have a meeting tomorrow about it, but we have not talked during the Kick the Keg party. If you don't use all of your tasters during the festival, if they will still be good at the Kick the Keg after party. You can definitely just buy pints at the bar at the after party. I'm going to say yes. I don't know if I'm allowed to do that, but I'm going to say yes, that you can really take your time then and really kind of work through your 20 tickets. And not only is it, I don't know if you guys realize this, so not only is it 20 taster tickets, so 20, I don't know if we did 4 ounce or 6 ounce samples. We might have done 4 ounce probably. There was some concern about people getting a little drunk on 26 ounce samples. Yeah, whatever. You get those 20 taster tickets. They're like, it's like a punch card. And then you also get 2 other tickets on there that are good for the mystery beer machine, which if you don't know about the mystery beer machine, again, make sure you're subscribed on YouTube, because there's a video coming that really breaks that thing down, because I freaking love it. And I don't know exactly what's going to be in there yet, because there's, like I said, 2 buttons, one for me, one for Cincy by the Pint, and we are going to put the beers that we want to put in there. And so you get 2 12-ounce cans of something, plus 20 tasters of either beer or booze or seltzer. It's going to be freaking cool. It's going to be a lot of fun. There will be food trucks. Not only are we selecting all of these beers, we are also handpicking food trucks that we want to be represented at the festival, so that we know the food is something that we stand behind, in addition to every beer being something that we stand behind, which is really, really difficult. You'll hear a lot of marketing talk with this, about this being the best beer in Cincinnati, which was how it was presented to me when the proposal came to do this festival. And it is not I can't guarantee that this is the best beer in Cincinnati because I don't know what that means. But I can 100% guarantee that every beer that is at this festival will be hand selected by us and something that we are standing behind and proud to serve to you guys. Julia says, I apologize now for any actions words at the end of the fest. I'm a chatty, happy drunk, but I talk enough as is. No worries. It's going to be a long day for me. The first session starts at noon, and the Kick the Keg after party, I think we said, goes to 10 to midnight. So we're talking 12 hours of drinking, but I'll do it for you guys. I'm excited for it. It's, from the easy end, it's $39.99 for a ticket, which I think is a very reasonable price for 20 beer samples and 2 12-ounce cans, plus open Fowling. If you guys have never played Fowling, it's a blast. I think it's a good deal. You can also get little private tables for a group of friends, and all come together and kind of share the little space, have a place to put your stuff, your purse or your hat or whatever you bring with you to a beer festival, and have kind of that home base to sit down and kind of drink together and do that. Plus, of course, Fowling. There's all kinds of stuff. It'll be fun. Yeah, we gotta sell all those tickets though. There's a lot of tickets for sale. That's the next step. Got to figure out more ways to get everybody excited about it. More ways to get everybody to understand what our vision for this thing is, because it's not just another beer festival, and that is something that I want people to understand. How often do you get to go to a beer festival where not only is there beer and seltzer, I mean, sometimes you get a little crossover, but to have booze too? I think right now we have, it won't just be like straight samples of booze. We're going to do some kind of pre-made cocktails from a couple places. I think right now we have 2 different cocktails at booths. I think we're planning for a couple different seltzer producers. I can't say names of everybody yet because we don't have everybody for sure, like confirmed. We have verbal confirmations from a lot of people. I guess technically nobody is confirmed because we're not there yet, but we know that Cartridge will be there. They are the title sponsor of the event. And then Third Eye is a co-sponsor, and then there may be one more co-sponsor, and then there are lots of people who are doing some other sponsorship things to kind of help out with the festival. But I want to make it clear, one of the things that was a hard, fast, in stone rule for me. None of these breweries have to pay to attend this festival. There are a lot of festivals where they will pressure you that you need to donate a keg of beer to go to the festival, to be at the festival. So they're not paying for the beer. You're donating it, and then they are selling tickets for people to come drink that beer. I think that's wrong and takes advantage of not only the kindness of breweries and their willingness to donate things to charity, but it just takes advantage of what craft beer is. So all of these places are able to attend our festival for no cost to them. The kegs are being purchased by the Fowling Warehouse, and then tickets are obviously being sold to make up that cost. However, there are places that are doing some other sponsorship opportunities to help fund the festival itself. So, but they didn't have to do that, and they don't have to do that. I appreciate it, but they don't have to. I mean, that has to be clear, is that this is not one of those pay-to-play kind of festival deals. I think that's horrible, and we need to stop that as an industry. There's lots of things that are going on within the beer industry that we have the power to stop. We just have to stop doing it and stop encouraging people to do it. But that is a different topic for a different show, for an actual show, and that is not what this is. This is not a show. You guys know that. It's a happy hour. which we need to wrap up because we're almost at an hour. And that's way over what I intend the length of these things to be. So lots of fun stuff in the works. I promise you that not only this last quarter of the year, from October to the end of the year, not only will that be exciting and good, we have big plans for next year, and lots of really great content to be created. Lots of good stuff. So just make sure you are following on all of those platforms, because you never know where things are going to be. I don't know where things are going to be because I have so many different platforms that I have to keep producing to keep myself happy. You also never know when Facebook is going to crash. So I'm not going to keep just making stuff for Facebook or Instagram because they're the same thing. So make sure you follow everywhere. There will be videos everywhere. There will be pictures everywhere. Speaking of pictures, this show, all of my shows, Cincy Brewcast, Prost, Weekly Pint, all of that stuff is sponsored by Gnome Creative. If you don't know what Gnome Creative is, go to gnomecreative.com, although it's still kind of under construction. The website doesn't look like I want it to look right now. Doesn't have the content I want on it. But that is my business. That is the thing that enables all of this when you really kind of break it down. I mean, yes, Patreon helps, and the merch store helps, and my day job helps, but Gnome Creative is the furnace that drives the machine of the Gnarly Gnome. So if you need or know anybody that needs any kind of creative work, you know the guy to reach out to. And that's me, especially if it's photo or video or audio creation. I'm obsessed with it, and that's what I do. So we will talk more about that in coming months, I promise. And maybe I'll actually get some time to work on the website this week or next week, but we'll see. I have a mystery beer machine video to edit together this week, and some pictures from a job this weekend that need edited and delivered to the client, and that all takes priority over everything else. Plus, my kids. My kids are extremely needy. I can hear them. Or hear one of them, hopefully just one of them upstairs. Hopefully the other one is asleep. We have my oldest is now in soccer, so our weekends we are now soccer parents. We sit and watch kids run around after the ball. And then she mentioned something else today that she wants to take karate, number one. So there was that. She's also in dance right now, and there was something else. Oh, what the hell was it? Some other kind of sport or activity. Oh, shoot, swim lessons? That was it. She wanted to take swim lessons in the winter. You know, there's those places that, I don't know, the Y, I think, has some stuff in the winter. And then there's a couple other, like, indoor kids swimming places, I guess. She wanted to do that. We're planning another freaking vacation after we've taken 37 vacations in the last 6 months. And we're going to the beach again next year, I guess, because that's what we do. And the house that we were renting has its own little pool. And she told me she told us at dinner that she was excited because she was going to be 5 next year, which meant she didn't have to wear her floaties in the pool anymore. And so I had to explain to her that no, you have to wear your floaties until you can swim, and that by the time we go on vacation, there's not a lot of swimming weather to practice swimming. So we may be doing swim lessons all winter long. So great for free time, isn't it, guys? It's all right. 100%, I am not complaining about any of that because my kids are awesome, and being a parent is awesome. It's just makes it hard to do anything else. I appreciate you guys. If you know anybody that does not know about thegnarlygnome.com or Cincy Brewcast or any of this stuff, please tell them. That's how this keeps growing. And please go to thegnarlygnome.com/tickets if you want to go to the Fowling Beer Booze and Bonks Festival. I will be there all day, and we can have a beer together, and I can tell you all of the fun behind-the-scenes stuff about this local industry and the things that I'm working on behind the scenes, too. If you really want to know. Thank you, guys. Cheers, and everybody have a good night. Now I get to finally drink my beers.